Hello, and welcome to Husky Huddle. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. And with me, a very special guest who was with us on Friday, and who correctly predicted that this would not be an easy game for the Huskies. His name is Julius Trenches Williams. Julius, welcome back.
What's up, brother? Glad to be back, man. How's it
I'm
going?
glad, I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to have you back because it turns out you were the voice of reason. You were the voice of reason. You said that them boys, they'd be ready to go, and boy were they.
Well, yeah,
They did not make it easy on us.
no, for sure, man. I mean, I knew they're a tough group, man. And I know, some kids, man. A lot of kids that have went to UAB. Like I've trained a couple guys that went to UAB and then getting drafted, and I just know, they recruit the Atlanta area, the Metro Atlanta area, rather, very hard. So I know they get a lot of good players. A lot of players from Florida, Alabama is, a great football state as well, man. So I knew those guys would be prepared. I know Trent Dilfer, was going to have those guys going. They're not having a great season, but they
Right.
got, I know the O-line coach, Coach Pat very well. I know, Coach McCann's their D-line coach, Coach Pat very well. Coach McCann's their O-line coach. I know him very well from those guys recruiting our guys from Trench Mob. So, I just knew those guys would, play hard, especially if they got guys coming from the north. You know how that thing is, man. It's like a north-south battle,
It
So
is.
anytime, get your team in the south, those guys from the north are going to come in with chips on their shoulders. So, I know those guys will get up for it and be ready to play.
Yeah, I was somewhat surprised that the start of the game early on, it looked like they came out with a lot more fire and a lot more energy than we did. And that may come from being on the road. It's our first game on the road in 7 weeks or whatever. But they came out and they took it to us. 3 points in the first quarter, and then the second quarter it was just a romp. We turned the ball over. We had some penalties, and they dropped 17 on us. And we go into halftime down 17-3. And Julius, I wasn't feeling very good.
No, for sure, man. I was nervous, man, and I don't know if you remember. I told you, man. I got a good buddy of mine.
Yeah, the
One of my best
coaches.
friends, man. He went to UAB, man. So we were watching the game together, man, and he's talking so much trash, and we're at my house, and I'm over here with the sour face, man. you know, but the guys are resilient, man. Great bunch,
God bless them. Yeah.
I'm a firm believer, man, and the team that runs the ball the best, has the best chance to win, man. And they ran the ball better than us, in the first half. Their guy BB,
They
he was
did.
going off, man. And as a defender, man, I would rather somebody throw the ball up and down the field than be running up and down the field, So
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
but glad we were able to get that thing pulled together, man. Fagiano came in there and did his thing as well, man, and got that pass game going for us. And, ultimately, we got the win.
What's so amazing about that to me is if you look at his numbers, just strictly by the numbers, they weren't anything like to write home about. They weren't anything special. He was 5 of 12. He only completed 41% of his passes, but that's all it took to really make the difference. He threw 2 touchdowns, and he only threw for 72 yards. He came in. I know Evers had taken a hit. I don't know if it was another injury per se. In the third quarter, I was watching, and Figiano came in, and he's not He's not a precision, accurate passer, but he's got a cannon and he's not afraid to sling it. And, there's certain reads where I think he makes the right decision where Evers will hold the ball. Now, Evers was more efficient. I mean, he was 15 of 24. He completed 62% of his passes, which is one of the highest completion percentages he's had all season. He threw for 104 yards, but he had two critical turnovers, I believe, on an interception and a fumble. So when you do that, it sets you back big time. And then if you look in the passing game, they really didn't get a lot going, like you said, until the second half. Then you started seeing you started to see Skylar Bell, TJ Sheffield, they come alive a little bit. Okay. And then Gavings, he loves Gavings, throws the ball to him for a touchdown, and Porter got the other touchdown. So it was good to see that, and it was good to see, like you said, the team that runs the ball. So once UConn started to throw the ball better, now they run the ball, and they end up with 189 yards rushing for the game. They outrushed UAB. Um, UAB had 170. So I totally agree with you.
No, totally, man. I just felt like we were a more, balanced team, in that second
Yes.
half, and I'm not, people will say what they say. Obviously, I'm a, UConn alumni, and I hear whispers between, who wants what quarterback to be in there. So, I don't think it's a deal of, who's
Yeah.
better. It's about who's doing the right thing for the right time. And Fagiano, like you said, he didn't come in. It's not like he came in and just was Tom Brady, you know, but he made, the right plays at the right time. And oftentimes, stats don't always tell the story, he wasn't, 12 for 12, but the plays that he did make, were ultimately game winning plays, that helped us, rally and, get back into the game and get that win.
Right. No, I hear you for sure. And the last thing anyone wants is a quarterback controversy.
But,
Um, so that's the last thing that we need, and I don't know how to do it. Um, but with the completion percentage and everything, I just worry about Figiano long term. I don't um, I don't know if Figiano long term can play a full game and be productive. I'd like to think that he would. He's played well in certain games. He played well at Merrimack. He played well at Buffalo. And in this game he turned it on. He's played well in relief. The game I saw that he played against Temple, he struggled. So that's the only thing that worries me. But as long as the running game is there, I think that's the key to everything.
right, for sure. Makes everything better, man. It's like it's
Yeah,
like
it
hot
does.
sauce.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It does for sure. And then, Skylar Bell's a guy who you gotta, when you're game planning, you gotta find ways to get him the football. You gotta find ways to get him the football. He should get like 10 touches a game.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's my biggest thing.
Right, right. You got to get the ball in your playmaker's hand, man. I think for me, him, Cam Edwards, man, you got to get those guys the ball. Those guys, to me, from what I've seen this year, are our playmakers. So I would love to see the ball in those guys' hands more. I mean, right now we're getting into the time in the season, where guys are going to become guys. This is where legends are made late in the season, man. So especially games like Syracuse. This is a big game for us. This is a big game not only for us this season, but the seasons to come. We're trying to get into a Power Five conference. I think, all of the
Yeah.
committees, everybody's watching UConn right now. Let's be honest, nobody expected UConn to be 7-3 right now. So,
No, no.
so now there we are, and making some noise and making some headlines. I'm hearing back from buddies I haven't heard back from, in 10 years, 12 years. And I say, hey, man, you see the guys, they're rolling. So, they're doing so much, for UConn alumni as a culture and just everybody who believes in them, period, man. I'm so proud of the guys. I texted Delmont, one of the D tackles after the game, man, said, good job, man. I'm proud of you guys, man. You guys are, making us proud.
So you still, I mean, you still have a pretty good relationship and know some of the guys on the team
Yeah, man.
that are active.
As an old guy, man,
You're not an old.
you want to show your support, and I'm gonna be honest. Like I kind of took a lapse, from my playing days, and especially like when you go to the. So let's say, for instance, after UConn, you go to the NFL, right? Everybody, you want to support your team, and and in my pro years, in the NFL and the CFL, especially as it got later, UConn wasn't doing so good, right? So
No,
I got ragged by a lot of guys. Hey man, UConn is terrible, man. You got and it was heartbreaking, man. So I kind of took a leave of absence, man, and didn't really watch as much. But now,
I didn't either. You're right.
yeah. So now that the guys are doing well, and you're going to bowl games, and it just makes you more eager to pay attention. And over the last few years, man, I've seen guys. I've begun to follow them on social media, and they see me and they see, hey, that's an old UConn guy. So a lot of them have reached out and followed back, and he's one of the guys that reached out to me last summer. He wanted to do some training, because he's from South Carolina. So
Right.
we've got a relationship. I know I've known Aaron Key for a while. Trained his brother. Arden Key that plays for the Titans now. So, um, I'm just glad to see the guys rolling, man. Glad to see the guys doing well.
Now you would know more better than I do. Defensively, what did you see? Like in the first half, it seemed like they were running the ball fairly easily, cutting through us like hot butter. It seemed like in the second half, we came together. We ran, I don't know if it was a different front or brought some different blitzes, but we looked a lot better up front to where we were getting the push. We were controlling the line of scrimmage, and they weren't able to run the ball as easily or throw it, which I thought changed the dynamic. Because when I initially stopped, it was, I think it was 23-10, and we had turned it over, or we had punted, and I was just like, God, I can't watch this. Um, and that's why I asked, like, defensively, did you see any changes specifically in the second half, or do you think the guys just played better?
Guys just play harder, man. I
Yeah,
believe, and it's just more confidently. I don't think going into the game we were the obvious favorite, right?
we were, yeah,
That's
six
saying
and a half.
only won 2 games, So I think going into the game, I've been a college football player before. You've been a college football player before. You know the games that you're supposed to win. And I think those guys, coming down there just figured, that it wouldn't be much. And nobody expected BB to, do what he did in the first half. So I just think, at halftime, man, shout out to, Coach Moore and, and the coaching staff for making adjustments. Seemed like the guys were a lot more motivated, to come out in the second
Yeah,
half, man. And I was proud, man. I texted Kashif, after the game,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and Coach Mack, the D line coach, and told him, "Hey, man, good job, man. You guys, were resilient and make that thing happen." But I just think they played harder, man, and guys made more plays. And the linebackers were flying around, man, 10 and 15, man. They are animals, man.
Jaden McDonald,
They
baby,
they
Jaden
they,
McDonald.
they, they can really really play, man. They remind me of the old days. Looks like Alfred Fincher and Mo Lloyd
Yeah,
out there, man.
Finch and Mo and Danny Lantana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
Man.
absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. It's amazing how we are truly a second half team. Like we've gone into the end of the first half, and I've been shaking my head like, God, this is bad. And then they come out in the second half firing on all cylinders, and they are able to make a remarkable comeback. Now, of course, it's the 2-6 team, but considering where UConn football was just last year until now, this was a game that probably could have snowballed and gotten out of our control.
Right.
And
Exactly.
right,
Exactly.
like that's how I look at it. I see it as a game that in the past we would have just gotten worse,
Right.
and thank God that we didn't. Thank God that we were able to make adjustments. Thank God that we were able to um, have that toughness, that grit, that metal that really makes a difference. And that's what I'm proud of. That's what I'm most proud of. I love seeing that this group has, never say die attitude.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what's going on, what's facing them. They never say die. They never give up. They always play hard. And I think that truly, truly has made the difference between last year and this year. And I'm very happy to see it. I'm very, very happy to see it. Do you think at all that they possibly could have been looking ahead to the Syracuse game?
I don't
I
think
know it's
so.
2 weeks away. That
Yeah.
was my only thought.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't. I don't know. Coach Moore will. You know.
Right, right, right.
Um. To say what he would say or be. How he would motivate the team. But I'm pretty sure. Knowing what I know. Especially about Kashif and.
Yes.
And the conversations I've had with Coach Mack, man, I know those guys are not. It's college football, right? So, it's kind of that any given Sunday, in
Yeah.
college is any given Saturday. You know, these guys are college football players as well.
Yeah, they
And
get coached too.
they get coached too, and they got great coaches. One of their coaches, is a well known, NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? So, you know,
Trent
um,
Dilfer, yep.
yep, it's all about game plan, man. It's all about game plan and guys coming out. We've seen tons of upsets. We've seen Appalachian State beat Michigan. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all about week to week. And I think those guys were just coming out and ready to play, man. I feel like UAB, they were coming off a big time win. I think it was 59-14. They beat
Yeah,
who did
they
they
beat Tulsa. Yeah.
Tulsa. You know what I mean? So I mean Tulsa doesn't sound like a great team, but anytime you score 59 points, you're gonna have some confidence. You know what I mean? So, coming into the game, I just think that wasn't the UAB team, from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So they have some confidence. That they're also they're playing, for much more than people know because people don't think about things that football coaches think about. That football players, the average fan is not thinking about the same thing that the coach is thinking. He's thinking, I got to win games, or I'm gonna be out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Players are thinking, hey, I got to make plays, or they're going to be in the transfer portal looking for guys to come take my job. They're going to be looking for 3-star, 4-star high school players, to come in and take my job. So as you get late in the season, those are the kind of thoughts that begins to go through your head as a player, through your head as a coach. So, that's extra motivation. Guys who want to be there next year and the year after, and and things like that. Man, you want to make money, you gotta produce. You know, so
You're
I
right.
think it was
You're right.
more that deal, more than we just looking past the guys.
Yeah, and Jalen Kitna definitely came down to earth. He had 2 picks. He was 22 of 42, 52% completion percentage for 233, with the 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. And then Lee Beebe Jr. ran the ball well. He had 17 carries for 115 yards, and he had a touchdown. But other than him, they shut him down pretty good in the running game, which I thought was huge. And the other thing that's huge is this is UConn's first winning season since 2010. 2010, which is unbelievable. Where they finished 8-5. And also, this was the largest comeback, matching a 2003 win at Western Michigan, which I was a part of.
Nice.
So it's great to see that it happened. And it was an injury that Joe came in relief off of starter Nick Evers. And again, his numbers weren't anything spectacular. He was 5 of 12, but 5 of 12 for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. That made the difference. That just having that threat, like you said, of the passing game, that is what opened up the run game. Cam Edwards, 11 carries, 82 yards. He had the long touchdown of 48 with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter that erased the deficit and put us up for good. That was a huge run. Darrell Robinson, 13 carries, 59 yards, 4.5 yards a carry. So those two took charge. I love it how each week, you never know which one is going to step up and which one is going to make the plays. Because they have the three-headed monster. The Giants used to call it Earth, Wind, and Fire. We have Edwards, Robinson, and Mel Brown, which is kind of the same, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think Robinson would be the earth, Edwards would be the wind, and Brown would be the fire. Would you concur with that assessment, or would you rank?
Definitely, man. UConn has always been a running back school.
Running back, absolutely.
It just has, and I'm not sure if it, like you said, last week, I'm not sure if it has something to do with the weather,
right.
Maybe it's cold and, the footballs are hard and it's wet, but, all of the UConn teams that I was a part of, we were a running team. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even in the down years, I remember UConn having really, really good running backs, even in the down years, so
yeah.
When I was there, we had Cornell Brockington, Terry.
You had Brock.
We had Matt Lawrence. Then we had Andre Dixon. We had Donald Brown. We had Jordan Todman.
JT. Yep.
So tons of guys, man, that were Lou Allen. Oh my God,
Big Lou.
Lou Allen is probably the greatest running back in UConn history that nobody really doesn't talk about as much because we were just so loaded, and he was the big guy. Lou Allen could have easily
monster.
Easily been the guy, man. And shout out to my roommate, man, Lou Allen, man. He was.
You talked to Lou?
Yeah, man. I still talk, man. Lou's my guy, man. I hate.
Awesome.
He was in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, man. And we were supposed to get up, but I was so caught up in darn coaching, man. I hate I missed him. But Lou's doing well, man. He I think he's in sports equipment sales now and doing very well. So yeah, but he was a complete animal, man. You know what I mean? We got lots of guys, that I played with, and still even, Victor Rosa, man. They got, we got running backs, 4 running backs that can
for days
start at any school in the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, shout out to the guys, man. And if you're a running back, out here and you're listening, man, and you're in high school or you're, think about entering the transfer portal, man, UConn's a great destination for RDs.
Well, talk to Lou Allen because I've been trying to get him on the show on the Husky Talk. I've been trying to get him on Husky Talk because his dad went to UConn as well.
Yeah, sure
I was trying to. I want to get him for sure. So
man,
if you can give me,
Lou was 6'2".
He was a beast. He
like
was a
250
beast.
pounds.
I know.
Ran 4.3.
Yeah,
You know, can
he was
bench
a
press a
monster.
house, squat a house.
He
you
was a
know, he was.
monster.
Yeah, he ran angry, man. He was just a laid. I think him being so laid back, personality wise, kind of hurt him. With not being the guy, and he should have came back, man, for his fifth year senior season. I think he was kind of just ready to go into the world. But man, Lou was an absolute. I think he's the most underrated you know running back, man, we've ever had. He could have been easily like a
Yeah,
run Dame type back for us if we would have used him more.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I want if you can get me Lou, you can get me Cody, and you can get me Lindell. Then we'll be in business. Those are the
Oh, for
guys I
sure.
want to have on Husky Talk.
Nah,
And then
definitely, man.
I think having either you and Cody together after, or you and Lindell and Cody, the
Right.
three of you reminiscing, that would be a good show
Yeah, man.
because
Yeah, I'm
you
still in touch with those guys, man. I'm still in touch.
that's
I talked
awesome.
to don't know if you remember, man. I talked to Larry Taylor last week,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm still, man. Man, we gotta, over the years,
You
you
got the
guys,
group chat.
yeah, you guys, we don't have like a huge group chat. We got a group chat with a few guys in it, but I mean, it's cool, man. On Larry Taylor, he has a son, now that's in high
Yeah,
school, and he has another son that plays in the army. So just reconnected with the guys. Me and Larry have always, talked over the years, though, man. So I'm still connected to quite a few guys.
and I also wanted to promote your trench mob. Okay,
Sure.
you'll work with kids individually. You'll work with kids in a group, and you also run camps all over the country.
Right.
And David was doing some research on it. You actually have competitions for the linemen,
Yeah.
and they score points, and then you have eventual winners.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Did you come up with that on your own? Like how to have certain competitions and how to give points and all that?
So I did not, man. I did not. I can't take credit for that.
But that's
Um,
brilliant.
yeah, well, but it's so obviously as an O lineman and D lineman, talking to each other, we do 5-on-5, at least twice a week. You know,
Oh, you
um,
do? Okay.
it up. So I'm just saying back in college and
Yes,
NFL and
yes,
CFL. So one-on-one pass rush has always been a favorite of mine. In practice,
yes.
like I can every time you go to one-on-one pass rush in practice, you get up for it. Guys
Time
get
to strap
excited,
it on.
especially
Yep.
D linemen. I mean, maybe not O linemen as much, but D linemen.
Yeah, D
You
line
know,
love it.
yeah, that's our drill. You know, so I was told about it about a guy Glenn Phillips, man, here in Atlanta. Owns a company called Grind Factory, who we just partnered with. He told me about it, and I just kind of took the guys that I was training at the time, to do it. And we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Did it. It was the most fun I had, since I was a player. You know,
Yeah.
then we were invited to come to Miami. Good guy named Coach Oye, who played at Mississippi State. I met a guy, Chris, from California, and the rest is history, man.
And you
And
put it
and
all
and,
together.
and man, we formed a league. Got partners, formed a coalition, and we began to travel and then put these things on. And the unique thing about it is, it's mainly for exposure. So
Yeah. Yeah,
at the average,
absolutely.
I've been taking guys to camps for years, right? So, um,
Yes.
not to talk bad about college football camps, but they're pretty much a money grab. You know,
No, it is. It's a
um,
hundred
you
dollars
know,
for three
yeah,
hours,
it's $100. You're going to
and they
get
know who
there.
they want.
Exactly, they know exactly who they want, right? So, and I would take guys to camps, and they wouldn't get offered, and the reason they wouldn't get offered is because they were going against other guys that weren't known. Make sense? So,
Right.
but what
Right.
we do, we form coalitions and partnerships with different teams from around the country, and every team has the best guys that they can find from their area.
In that
You know,
area. Right.
yeah. So with us, we'll go against. Say for instance, if you go to the University of Georgia, you're not going to get a chance to go against the 4-star. He's going to be in the background drinking Gatorade. The coach is
You're
going to be
right.
telling him how
You're
great he
right.
is.
Yeah.
and he'll probably be watching the one-on-ones, and
Yes.
then
Yeah.
if
They
it's
don't
the
compete.
University of Georgia, they're going to have a private camp, and they're going to
Yeah.
invite all 5 stars and all 4 stars, and then they may go against each other. In our
Right.
deal, we forced the 4 star to go against the 2 star.
Yes.
We forced them to go against the 1 star, and these guys would never have an opportunity to go against these
Go
guys
against that level of
one on one.
competition.
If the
Yeah.
camera's right there on you two guys, and if you beat that guy, you now have ammo to fuel your highlight tape. And this is how guys are getting so many offers, man, because you go against a 5 star guy that has 50 offers and you have none. Everybody who's offered him is going to see you, beat him. And now they're going to be looking at you,
Exactly.
man. So we've had guys over the years come in with 0 offers. Like we got 4 guys on our team this year came in with 0 or 1 offer, and now they have 30 plus. Just from
And how many how many kids would you say that you work with, and how do they go to the website and they can sign up to work with you? Is that
Yeah,
how
for
it?
sure, man.
Okay.
They can go to the website, or
Okay.
most of it happens, word of mouth. What I mean, I
It
get
is word of
kids,
mouth. Right.
they find me on Twitter, they find me
Right.
now, and we got great platforms.
You do.
They find me on Instagram, and we've been featured on 24/7 Sports,
Yep.
Rivals. We're all over YouTube. And
Yep.
it's exciting, man. So guys are, seeing us, and they're reaching out, and then we're putting them on the road, man, and they're becoming superstars.
And how many camps would you say you run over the summer?
We do about 6 or 7 a year.
Okay.
So we travel
You
maybe
get
5 or 6
all over.
times, and we always have at least 1 or 2 here in Georgia.
Okay. Okay, good. Beautiful. Beautiful. No, because that's we got a lot of positive feedback about that, because it's tough to find people to work with linemen. And that especially with our YouTube channel and podcast network, that's something we can definitely help you promote and get more kids to sign up and get more kids to go to camp and promote those camp dates. And it's something we could do regularly. We could have a regular segment with you talking about the camp you're having upcoming this week or this month. There's a lot of ideas I had, because what you're doing is not offered by a lot of people. And the one that you're doing in Connecticut, I'm having Matt Lawrence on tomorrow night. We're
Nice.
going to talk about it. Yeah.
My
And
guy.
yeah, I know. And then I talked with Andre Dixon, because Andre Dixon, hey, coach, how are you?
What's going on?
There he is. What's up, Coach?
Hey, how you doing?
Andre Dixon also has a facility, and he wants to be involved with Matt Lawrence and you guys as well. So you'll get the top level talent in that area. So I think that'll be great, because especially for Connecticut, because it's something we don't have. It's something we don't have.
No, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah,
The typical fat guy. Like I can
yeah,
call him
we
a
get
fat guy because I'm
overlooked.
fat too. But he's going to sit down after the season and he's going to relax. The receivers are going to go, and work with the quarterback. But most of the big guys, technically from what I've seen since I retired in 2015, most of those guys don't train. So
Yeah,
I think with the 5v5 culture, it's changing that because now we don't get any credit, man. You can have 10
you
pancakes in a
never.
game and nobody will
Yeah,
ever know about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right.
You can give up 2 sacks in 5 years and and seldom people will hear about it. But now, you got these cameras out here, you got these platforms, 24/7 rivals, on three, they're tapping in with the big guys now. And big guys are now beginning to be excited. I in the past 3 years, we went from training maybe 5 guys on a Sunday to any given Sunday, we'll have 50 guys out there now.
That's awesome.
All big guys and they're becoming more healthy. You know what I mean? They're getting more opportunities and I talk to college coaches every day, man. And the hardest thing to find is O lineman and D lineman. That's the hardest position to recruit. And I believe that though these new 5-on-5 circles are making that a lot easy. Because
Yeah,
now the camera is zoomed in. There's not another like when you watch high school film, you can't see much. It's mainly blurry in the trenches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So now we
I
got
hear
these,
you.
high definition cameras, and you can see these guys. You can see their kneecaps now.
I hear
You
you.
see these guys blinking. So I think it's definitely a great platform.
All right. Coach Schuman, I got to take off. You can finish up with Julius. We were talking about the UAB game. We covered a lot of it. And
No, good. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. You know what I mean? So I'll let you
yeah,
finish it
I
up.
apologize. We were late. Yeah, but I gotta head out. Coach Julius, thank you again. You did a phenomenal job, and you were right about the team. You knew it was going to be a close one. So remember,
Who was
this is
so Julius the closest on the score? By the way, just I wanted to. He was the closest on the score.
it was technically me. It was I had 35-21. It was
Okay.
30 to 21. So this has been Husky Huddle for Coach Schuman, the man, Julius Trenchers Williams of the Trench Mob. I'm the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at life.
Yes, sir.